What's up, everybody? Welcome to Metal Remains Backstage. I am Carlos here in New York City, and today we have with me Sandy, vocalist from the astonishing band Defacing God.
Hello.
Hi, Sandy. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm good. I just came home from 14 days at sea, so I'm a little bit tired, but I am slowly coming back. Yeah.
Great. Sandy, you are the singer of this amazing band, Defacing God, a band that has a relentless force, that has released two singles, two mind-blowing singles, I will say so far. And we know so little about your band. When and how was the band formed?
Actually, it's quite some years ago now. I founded Defacing God back in 2015 together with my drummer Michael Olson. We had a lot of obstacles. We needed to find the right band members, and we also had some troubles regarding our rehearsal room back then. So it actually took quite some years before the whole thing was established. Before we could go public, so to say. And then I guess we had a complete lineup in 2017. So yeah, it has been quite some years now. So it's about time that we release an album.
About the name of the band, Defacing God, what is the meaning behind the name?
The name Defacing God simply just stuck to me back in the days, and I guess you can analyze it into a lot of things. And mostly, I guess people would analyze it into something offending, But for me, it literally means that we somehow remove the mask from the so-called God, And behind that mask, you'll actually find humanity exposed. It's like defacing the image of God, removing his mask, or smash it into a wall and then reveal what's behind it, because for me, religion and the term God is actually something created by humans, and the name God has been used in many cultures to cause fear or to manipulate or to even control a certain group of people. And humanity has even killed and justified it in the name of God many times throughout history, So the name Defacing God is for me a term used to destroy that cover up, and expose people and hold humanity responsible for their own deeds and behavior. So that's actually pretty much what the name means to me.
Okay. Can you tell us what is the message behind the lyrics of the songs you write?
Yes, the whole album actually, it evolves a lot around this whole witch hunt in Europe, and it evolves around witchcraft and occultism in general. And also it's a lot about this darkness, that thrives within humanity itself, So all the songs on the album tells an ancient story. But of course, I took some of these stories and some of them I changed a little bit out of my own imagination. That depends which mood I'm in. But yeah, most of the stories I tell is seen from Lilith's point of view, a woman's point of view. So that is what the whole album evolves around. So yes, it is a concept album, yeah.
Okay, great. The compositions of the songs include orchestral arrangements, and that elevates the listening experience to a whole other level. Can you share with us a little bit?
We actually started on working on this album, and we started to compose the songs back in 2016, I think.
Oh, wow.
But due to a lot of obstacles, and then out of a sudden a pandemic came in, and then we sealed a deal with the Napalm Records. Then the whole thing just became a very long process, But mostly when it comes to composing the songs or to write the songs, it basically starts out with that either I write a story, and then out from that story, my guitarists, they create the riffs, of course, and they create it out of those feelings that the story gives them. or else it's actually the other way around. My guitarists, they create a riff or they create a track, and I listen to it, and out from the feelings I get from listening to this song, I write the story, because for me, I'm very visual when it comes to writing, actually, because yeah, I just think in pictures. So I simply listen to the track, and then I simply just write everything down that comes to my mind when I hear the song, because you can always put some feelings to a specific sound. If you hear something, you can always hear, does it sound sad, does it sound aggressive, whatever, and then it slowly takes its form out from that. But we are also experimenting with a lot of other things than just the guitars and the drums. So we actually have this session musician with us, Lars Winter. I mentioned him a few times. He's not a real part of the band, so he's not a permanent member, but because he's a very good friend of ours, so I see him as a session member, so to say.
Okay.
And he is the one who composed these symphonic parts, the orchestral parts. It's quite a long process when it comes to compose all the songs, because first you need the riffs, you need the lyrics, you need to build up the whole atmosphere, and then comes all the symphonic parts afterwards. So yeah, but that is pretty much the way we we work. It's a bit chaotic, but I guess that's just the way it is with art.
That's the way it is. And we were reading that the album was produced by Jacob Hansen, who is a very well-known name, I will say, because he has worked with a lot of very known bands. How was the experience of working with him?
That was amazing, because Jakob, he's just an amazing guy to work with. He's very kind, and he really knows what he's doing. And yeah, he's just an all-around cool person. I mean, he's very easygoing, and we really trusted him because he really knows how to create this massive sound, and it fits very great to our style, the music that we play. So all around, we had a very good experience with him, and it's definitely not the last time that we are going to use him, because he simply just know what we want, so to say.
All right, great. Your debut album will be released in September the 2nd. I have pre-ordered my vinyl, so I'm waiting impatiently for that to arrive.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
This album is going to come out through Napalm Records. In our opinion, that's a great achievement because for a band to have their debut album with such a great record such as Napalm, that's a big, huge, humongous step in their career. How did you manage to do that?
That's a pretty good question, yeah. I must say, yeah, that there is a lot of bands nowadays out there, and almost every day a new band pops up, and me and my drummer, we made a deal from the beginning that this just have to cost whatever it takes, because we didn't want to put anything out before it was perfect, in our opinion, of course, because it's also a matter of taste, but we have spent a lot of money and a lot of time on this, and we just wanted quality from the beginning. So I wanted to skip this whole EP demo phase, because when I do something, I'm like, it's either all or nothing. Everything else is just a waste of time, So from the start, we actually did everything we could to just put a lot of quality in this. So we didn't hold back on anything. I mean, Jakob Hansen that we used for example, for the recording, he's one of the best, if you ask me, and it's pretty expensive, and we just only work with the best, so to say. And I guess that is one thing that we achieved what we did so far. And but the way that we came in contact with Napalm Records were because we released in 2020. We released this Succumb the Euphoria, our first music video. And if you ask me, it's very great quality. We work with a great team. They did an amazing job on that. And actually, our producer Jakob Hansen, he contacted the Napalm Records and he showed them this video.
Mhm.
And yeah, the minute they saw the video, the deal were almost sealed, you know. So yeah, we got in contact with them after we released that video, and after that, yeah, it went the way it went. so
Right.
so yeah, I cannot tell how we did it. I think we were just really lucky, you know, and also because we really put time, effort, and money and quality. So I guess that's what did it.
That speaks a lot about the passion and effort you guys are putting on this band. And of course, Nepal is going to say, yeah, we're going to have these guys with us.
Yeah,
You,
maybe, yeah. But
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
grateful.
Now, talking about the cover, who is the artist responsible for such a great piece of art for the album cover? That's something that I would like to have in the wall of my house because it's great. It's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. I'm also very satisfied with it. On the album cover, we worked together with Peter Salai from Mort Paint Graphics. Amazing artist. I think he also did some cover art, some artwork for bands like Powerwolf, Sabaton. I just remember I checked his work out back then, and I was sold immediately because he's really great, you know. And we talked about our theme, and we talked about my visions, you know. And he came up with a very great idea almost instantly, and I was like, yeah, let's go with that, you know. And it turned out great, and I'm really satisfied with his work. So he's recommended from me.
What cities, countries are you planning to tour in support of the debut album? And please say you are considering to come here to New York City. Please say yes.
I mean, we plan to come all around the world, you know, but I can actually not tell so much about it yet because we just landed, or more or less, we just landed a deal with a new booking or management agency. But actually, I know a little bit more from tomorrow. But the plan is, of course, that we are going to tour Europe, United States, South America, you know, everywhere, hopefully. But of course, it will take a little bit time from now because first of all, because of the pandemic, a lot of bands they are going out there now. So a lot of the tour spots or slots already taken for
Mhm.
now. But I hopefully, in the beginning of next year, we will have a Europe tour, and then afterwards, hopefully, we will come to the other side of the planet.
Awesome. We will be waiting patiently here because I'm pretty sure my mind will explode when I see you guys playing in front of me.
Thank you so much.
Now, let's talk about your incredible voice. How do you do it?
That's a very good question. As I mentioned it a few times before, when I was younger, I was a choir singer in church for quite some years,
Okay.
actually. Yeah, that's funny, but yeah, that belonged to my childhood. So,
It's
but yeah, I
life.
have, yeah, I have actually always been fascinated about this whole choir style, you know, and basically many of the techniques you learn there is the same techniques as I use nowadays. But how I do it, how I make the sound, it's very hard to explain because of course there's a bunch of techniques that you can learn, and you also have to learn to use these techniques because else you destroy your voice. No doubt about
Mhm.
that. Everyone can learn a technique, you know. But when it comes to this screaming, yelling, growling, whatever you want to call it, I also think it's something about attitude, you know. Either you have it in you or you don't. For me, it's if it becomes too over technical, you know, then it loses that authentic part, you know. For me, that then it's not real anymore because this scream and growling also needs to come from somewhere, you know. And I have always just been very angry, so to say. I learned to
Mhm.
control it a little bit the older I got, but of course I use techniques, but I also mean it, so to say. So yeah, it's a mix between the person I am and using all these old techniques that I learned back then, but it takes a lot of practice. So I cannot recommend that you just start yelling.
Right.
You have to
Yeah.
build it up slowly.
Yeah, right. It's like learning to run. You don't just run, you
No.
go little by little.
Yeah, exactly. You also don't run a marathon in a few days. You have to build up your stamina over time. So, and it's the same with this kind of singing. Yeah.
Would you like to say a final message for the people watching this interview online?
Yes, I hope to see everyone on the road, hopefully very soon. I'll know some more from tomorrow. So, but until then, take care and yeah, stay true to yourself always. And of course, stay metal.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Then, of course. Thank you for your time. We're going to be waiting for your record to come out. We're going to be waiting for your band to go on tour and see you live. But until then, as you say, stay metal.
Yes. Thank you for having me, guys.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much for the time, Sandy.
Thank you.
Thank you.